Warwick County School Corporation's Board of Trustees meeting from November the 11th, 2004 to order. We'd like to stand for a moment of silence and followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And please keep our veterans in your thoughts. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Get my little chair back here. Okay, we have a list for patron concerns, and no one signed up for that list. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our school spotlight. Dr. Abby Redmond.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to everybody who's here tonight. We are very pleased to have the Castle South Middle School Dragons with us this evening. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Mr. Greg Harris, principal at Castle South.
Should we turn the lights down just a little?
Ready?
Yeah, sure. Good evening. I'm Castle South Middle School Principal Greg Harris. I've had the honor of serving as principal for the past 5 years and have worked in the Warwick County School Corporation for the past 17 years. I'm pleased to introduce to you the staff members that will be presenting tonight, and also thank you to all of our staff members that are in the crowd. Assistant Principal Jason Byers, Counselor and Librarian Lori Hines, Counselor Sarah Stewart, Counselor Shelby McElwain, Teacher Sarah Bruger, Therapy Dog Briggs Bruger, and Teacher Jason Pruden. Here are some quick facts about Castle South Middle School. We have 647 students, 39 teachers, 17 program assistants, 3 counselors, 1 social worker, 1 nurse and a health aide that we share, 2 administrators, 2 office staff members, 1 school resource officer, 6 custodians, and 11 cafeteria staff members. Here is a short video to help you get to know our outstanding staff.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paper boy, evening TV. Everywhere you look, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, there's a face of somebody who needs you. Everywhere you look, when you're lost out there and you're all alone, life is waiting to carry you home. Everywhere you look. Everywhere you look, you're right out.
All right. I knew that was going to be a problem there. This is our staff in their Olympic-themed T-shirts provided by our fantastic PTO. These shirts are worn on Fridays with jeans to celebrate and show pride in our school. We also encourage workout gear on Workout Wednesdays. Staff members walk with a friend during their plan or lunch on those days to help reduce stress and build relationships. We are very fortunate to work in one of the newest physical structures in the corporation. Our school is perfectly suited for middle school teaming. We have a completely separate hallway for each grade level. This allows our students to feel comfortable and have all the resources that they need in their home area. Students have all of their core classes in the grade level hallway and only leave for lunch and encore classes. Our school improvement goals are to improve the number of students that are proficient in iLearn ELA in math, increase the number of students showing a year's growth in NWA ELA in math, and to decrease the number of students experiencing chronic absenteeism. Obviously, woven through those goals and everything we do is to care for our students and help them grow into productive citizens. And now we'll turn the microphone over to our assistant principal, Mr. Byers.
All right, good evening, everyone. I appreciate you having us here this evening. Before I speak on my part, just a little bit about me in case we've not met. I did teach in Warwick County for 3 years as a elementary teacher in the 5th grade and 8 years as a middle school teacher at Castle North Middle School. I've been at Castle South for 5 years now in the role of assistant principal. Amongst many of the things that I do, my two main responsibilities at Castle South are the attendance and student discipline. As you can see for the student attendance, we have many things that we do focus upon and several things that we work with in order to help our students maintain positive attendance at Castle South. The main thing, the important piece at Castle South is my goal is to work with our families in order to help our students make it to school, overcome whatever it is that may be keeping them from being able to make it to school, and more importantly, help create individualized plans in order to promote that with our students. In addition to attendance, student discipline is a large part of what I do on my day-to-day. Again, you can see through the list here, one of the things I think we do as a school is we pride ourselves on a truly a team approach. It's not just a top-down from the administration, but we do try to work with our teachers, counselors, office staff, everyone in the building at that rate. So with that being said, some of the things that we do focus upon, last year, the 23-24 school year, we started working to become a trauma-informed school. We do have a pretty high population of students who have that trauma background. So building those relationships, getting that professional development for our teachers and maintaining that throughout this school year is a very big piece of what we're trying to do to improve our building. In addition to that, we're currently working to create and implement a middle school-based MTSS program. We have launched that at Castle South, and we have students who we are focusing upon at this time to help improve, whether it be academics, behaviors, those types of things. So we are working with our corporation, personnel throughout the corporation, and we are trying to launch that at the middle school level as well. Last, we do have, which this has been something that since I came to Castle South has been a focus, I think, with us and throughout the corporation, but just continued adult and student SEL, focusing on that social emotional learning. Again, that goes back to that trauma piece with our students for the behavior, the discipline, and our attendance as well. So that's a little bit about me and what we're doing at Castle South. And again, certainly appreciate you having us this evening. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shelby McElwain. I've been with Castle South for 4 years. My first 2 years I was split as a social worker between Castle South and a couple other schools. And then for the last 2 years, I have been a counselor full-time.
Good evening. I'm Sarah Stewart. I'm in year 14 at Castle South Middle School. My first 8 years, I was a classroom teacher, and then this is year number 6 as a counselor.
Good evening, I'm Lori Hines, and this is my 12th year at Castle South. I started out as a math teacher, then went to the counseling department, and now I am split between counselor and librarian. So just a little bit about our counseling department. We do have nearly 650 students that we service between the 3 counselors. Mostly that comes in the form of individual sessions, small group counseling, and then we do also monthly SEL lessons in our homeroom class. We do have a student request form that our students have access to fill out if they want to put in a request to see one of our counselors. And as you can see, it gets quite a bit of use. We have over 250 already just this school year. We also are very blessed to have a partnership with Youth First. We have a full-time social worker, and we also have a part-time Southwestern behavior coach that helps with our kiddos also. And then the other duties that we have, Miss Shelby and Miss Stewart really handle a lot of the upper things, and then I help out with the 504 plans, scheduling throughout the year, and the master scheduling. I learn in NWA testing, and then our family and community outreach programs. We have weekly food bags that we provide to our students, and we also have like Dragon Christmas program, things like that. So that's the counseling department. Thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to Miss Bruger now.
Good evening. I'm Sarah Berger, and this is Briggs. First and foremost, I am the 8th grade civics teacher at South. I've been at South for 6 years. I focus on the government and citizenship side of our curriculum. I also have started We the People at our school, and we're the only middle school in Warwick County that does this program in addition to our Castle High School team. We the People is a program that the Indiana Bar Foundation offers that aligns with our state curriculum and is also found in all the states across the nation. Students learn how the government was created and why, while also focusing on how it works and how it applies to their lives. My competition team is divided into 8 unit groups with focus questions in which they write prepared speeches for mock legislative hearings. They then sit in front of a panel of judges who listen and then ask follow-up questions of them to test their understanding. I started this program 3 years ago, and we have taken first in the Southwest region each time so far. We've come in 4th place both times at state, and we're headed back to the state competition on December 10th, hoping for a top 3 win. Switching gears, my other side is with Briggs. We are a licensed therapy team. Briggs is a 4-year-old black lab. He'll be 4 on Thursday. We've been training since he was about 12 weeks old. We're part of the local Canine Angels group with Tri-State Canine University, and we're also licensed with the National Group Pet Partners. At school, he greets students in the hallways in the morning. He spends his time in my classroom during the day, but we're available for students to come down at any point, or we go down and meet up with them as needed. So sometimes the counselors come by or they call for us. We also go out to the functional academics room for some time with some of the students that might have higher needs, helping them get back to class, helping them get to the bus, those sorts of things. And Briggs is also not just there for the students, he's also there for the staff. A lot of the staff comes and gets some pets during the day or loves on them. You can see a lot of our staff kind of loves on him here too. But he is a great addition to our school this year, and I'm very thankful that he gets to spend his time with me. Thank you.
I wouldn't get any work done.
Good evening. I'm Jason Pruden. I'm the band director at Castle South, and I'm here to talk about our Encore team. I have a few things I'd like to share. There's many, many things our students get to do at our school that are amazing and wonderful, and most of those, in my opinion, tend to happen in the Encore department. One of the unique things about our setup at Castle South is students get to sample courses in 6th grade and then choose one that they prefer or would like to learn more about in 7th and 8th grade and go deeper. My first example is Mrs. Korba, who teaches 6th grade general music class, where students get to learn piano, ukulele, handbells, very typical classroom musical instruments. For 7th and 8th grade, if they'd like to learn more, they can take her semester-long piano course, or they can perform in our school and community in her choir classes. In Mrs. Miller's art program, students work with a variety of materials, including paint, oil, clay, pastels, and so on, to create their own works of 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional art. One of the 8th grade capstone projects is for students to paint a ceiling tile, and we have them all over our school, and I think it's something that makes our school really unique and special. Mr. Parker teaches 6th grade computer science, where students learn the very basics of computer coding. But in his 7th grade digital communications course, it builds on those skills, and students learn to code robots and even fly drones in the classroom, which is really, really cool. In my own classroom, 6th grade band students begin to learn how to assemble, maintain, and play their instruments at a very basic level, and even next week we start our first class recital performances. For 7th and 8th grade, our band students dig deeper and learn more complicated and advanced skills and perform a lot more like today we played at our Veterans Day School Assembly. Of course, all of the Castle South band students go on to Castle High School, and they're part of that wonderful program there as well. I could go on and on and on about all the cool things that happen at Castle South in our Encore department, like Mr. Thomas and his 8th grade weightlifting class, or Mr. Collins, our GTT teacher. He teaches 6th graders just the basics of CAD, and at the end of 8th grade, students are 3D printing their own designs. Or everyone's favorite, the PE pickleball tournament. But I only have a little bit of time, so that's what I wanted to share with you this evening about the Encore department at Castle South. Thank you.
So one thing that we really wanted to be able to provide you guys, we would love for you to come into our school. And so we have a video kind of showcasing our amazing students. And hopefully this can show you guys why we do what we do every day and why we love it so much.
The thing about Castle South is that I'm comfortable with asking my teachers for help if I'm not understanding a subject.
My favorite thing about Castle South is probably the people and how nice all the teachers and the students are to each other.
My favorite thing about Castle South is the athletic staff and everything they do.
My favorite thing about Castle South is that there's so many extracurricular activities that so many students can find what they really like to do.
I love this school a lot, and I love Miss Hargis.
You love this school and Miss Hargis? What is your favorite thing about Castle South Middle School?
The teachers and the education.
My favorite thing about Castle South is the teachers, gym class, and all the fun events that we do, like this field trip.
What is your favorite thing about Castle South Middle School?
Band program that they have.
My favorite thing about Castle South is Chicken Nugget Day.
As a new student at Castle South, my favorite thing is that everybody's so nice and kind, and that everybody's inclusive.
My favorite thing about Castle South is like how comfortable and welcoming like everybody is.
Mi cosa favorita de Castle South son las clases y los profesores.
My favorite thing about Castle South is computer science class and fist bump Friday.
My favorite thing are my teachers, the decorations, and my friends.
My favorite thing about Castle South is how much flexibility we have in our schedules.
By women at Castle South, c'est professeur qui est de mon fils.
My favorite thing about Castle South is GTT.
My favorite things about Castle South is that there's so many opportunities to make new friends, and you can there's so much more freedom, and you can just there's a bunch of nice teachers and everything. I think that's what I like most. What I love about Castle South is what Tilly said, more opportunities, and the teachers are so helpful. When we need them, they're always there for us.
What I like most about Castle South is that these are the friends you're going to grow up with. These are going to be the people at your wedding, or the people who if you ever need a shoulder to cry on, they'll be there for you.
Favorite thing about Castle South is the Encore classes and how much the teachers care about you and how much they help you.
My favorite thing about Castle South is literally everything about it, 'cause it's the best school ever.
Love the kids.
My favorite thing about
So there are a tremendous number of things to be proud of and to celebrate at Castle South. Amazing group of students and staff and our community members. It is a wonderful place to work and to be a part of. And so really want to thank you guys for this opportunity to showcase what we do and just give you a little glimpse into our day. And I hope you can see that we're very proud of what we do. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Mr. Whitehead, is your daughter part of We the People?
She is not. She should be, but she's not.
Give her some.
I will. I'll get her on her about that. Right, so she has a couple years. Good, good. Hadley Whitehead. Hadley Whitehead. Yeah.
If we couldn't call her out anymore.
I know.
Just talking about how much she loves Dad
Yes.
calling her out. So
Yes. Oh, good, good. She'll enjoy this talking about it.
Thank you so much for being here tonight. And I know
Thank
they have
you.
a date after the meeting here tonight. So we're going to let you guys go right ahead. So thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to item number 5, consideration of routine business. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Metzger. The routine business and items this evening include approving the minutes of the school board meeting held on October 28, 2024, and approving the claims and signing the docket for November 11th, 2024. I recommend the board approve the routine items as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Baker, a second by Mr. France. This evening, Mrs. Wilhelmus is joining us virtually, so we'll be having roll calls, and our secretary, Mrs. Glover, will do that roll call vote.
Do we have any discussion?
We should have discussion. Anyone have any discussion? No? Okay.
Okay, Mrs. Wilhelmus. Ms. Metzger.
Aye.
Mr. Eigner.
Aye.
Mr. France.
Aye.
Mr. Mosby.
Aye.
Mr. Baker.
Aye.
I vote aye.
Motion carried. Okay, we're going to item number 6, consideration of items for board action. Dr. Redmond.
Yes, this evening for 6.1, our EdFlex waiver, Mr. Fisher is going to come to the podium and talk a little bit about what that means before we take our vote.
Good evening. The Indiana Department of Education's Office of Title Grants and Support has made changes to the EdFlex waiver application and the requirements. EdFlex is a program through the U.S. Department of Ed that grants state educational agencies the authority to waive statutory or regulatory educational requirements that may impede local efforts to reform and improve educational achievement. A description of the Warwick County School Corporation's application for the proposed waiver authority can be found on our website. Federal law requires that each school corporation provide the public with adequate and efficient notice of the proposed waiver and allow for public comment on the waiver. Accordingly, if anyone would like to comment on this matter, please come forward now.
Are there any questions for Mr. Fisher in regard to the EdFlex waiver?
No, yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Couldn't see her.
Yes.
We went over this at our work session, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yes. All of this does is allow us the flexibility to move the allotted amount of money that
Right.
we've been given to use it all in one category rather than the 3 separate categories that they initially asked you to spend out of.
Right, and to do so, it requires this process.
Correct.
Yep,
Yes.
I remember that.
Yes.
Thank you.
That being said, I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Eigner for that.
Mosby.
Mr. Mosby, I'm sorry. A second by Mrs. Glover. And is there any discussion? If not, we'll take a roll call vote. Mrs. Glover?
Mrs. Wilhelmus. Ms. Metzger.
Aye.
Mr. Eigner.
Aye.
Mr. France.
Aye.
Mr. Mosby.
Aye.
Mr. Baker. Aye. I vote aye.
Okay, the motion's carried. We'll move on to 6.2, proposed policy 4175, student suicide awareness and prevention.
Thank you, Mrs. Metzger. Tonight is the second reading of proposed policy 4175, student suicide awareness and prevention. This is a required policy that the state of Indiana has asked that all school corporations create, adopt, and use. So briefly, and remember this can be found in full on our website, but briefly, the second reading states the Board of School Trustees of the Warwick County School Corporation recognizes its role in increasing awareness of child suicide and will offer training and support in the effort to lower overall suicide rates. In addition, the board believes there must be a partnership between families, the community, and the Warwick County School Corporation schools to effectively identify and offer support to our students with mental health needs as described herein. And then the policy just goes on to talk about what that process looks like and formalizes that process that we, quite frankly, already use. So I recommend the board approve policy 4175 as presented.
Motion to approve policy 4175.
Okay, we have a motion made by Mr. France, a second by Mr. Baker. Is there any discussion?
I do think it's important that people understand that this is one of the greatest risks. We're all focused on things we see on TV, but this is one of the greatest risks our students face. And I know that our staff and our administrative team are focused on doing what we can to minimize that.
All in favor?
Mrs. Wilhelmus. Ms. Metzger,
Aye.
Mr. Eigner.
Aye.
Mr. France.
Aye.
Mr. Mosby.
Aye.
Mr. Baker.
Aye.
I vote aye.
Motion carried. We'll move on now to 6.3. That's non-exclusive clinical affiliation agreements. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Metzger. This evening, we ask that you consider approving the non-exclusive clinical affiliation agreements. These agreements provide that Majestic Care of Newburgh, Woodmont Health Campus, and Brickyard Healthcare Woodlands Care Center will provide qualified professionals and make its facilities available to Warwick County School Corporation's faculty members and students for practical learning and clinical experiences. I recommend the board enter into these agreements as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion made by Mr. Mosby,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Glover. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote?
Mrs. Wilhelmus. Ms. Metzger.
Aye.
Mr. Eigner.
Aye.
Mr. France.
Aye.
Mr. Mosby.
Aye.
Mr. Baker.
Aye.
I vote aye.
Motion carried. We'll go to 6.4, course addition. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you. This evening, we ask the board consider to approve the addition to the following high school course offerings for 25-26 school year submitted by Mr. Jason Fisher, our Director of Learning. The course is Advanced Placement, Spanish Language and Culture. I recommend the board approve the addition of this course as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion made by Mr. Baker,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Glover. Any discussion?
I had a question. Is that going to be offered at all three high schools or all three schools?
This right now is being offered at Castle High School for the advanced placement, because you have to have advanced placement training. But we do offer dual credit Spanish at Tecumseh High School through USI. And I believe we're looking at offering dual credit Spanish, adding that at Boonville. I know we currently offer it through Ivy Tech at Boonville.
Thank you.
Okay. And that right now, just a quick answer to the one question so that the public could hear. This particular course is at Castle.
Yes, this is currently.
Okay, just repeating that for the public. Okay. Okay, is there a roll call vote then?
Mrs. Wilhelmus. Ms. Metzger.
Aye.
Mr. Eigner.
Aye.
Mr. France.
Aye.
Mr. Mosby.
Aye.
Mr. Baker. I vote aye.
Motion carried. 6.5, change order number 7. Is that going to be, you're going to do this one, Dr. Redmond?
Yes. This evening, we ask the board to consider approving change order number 7 from Danco Construction for field turf installation at BHS and CHS in the amount of $14,850 for stranded rubber surfaces in the D zones at both schools. I recommend the board approve change order number 7 as presented.
Motion to approve.
Motion made by Mr. Eigner, seconded by Mr. France. Any discussion? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote. Ms. Glover?
Mrs. Wilhelmus. Ms. Metzger.
Aye.
Mr. Eigner.
Aye.
Mr. France.
Aye.
Mr. Mosby.
Aye.
Mr. Baker.
Aye.
And I vote aye.
Okay, motion carried. Moving on to item 6.6, change order number 8. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you. This evening, we ask the board to consider approving change order number 8 from Danco Construction, Inc. for field turf installation at BHS and CHS in the amount of $253,620 for lime and cement stabilization. That's actually, in fact, at BHS. I recommend the board approve change order number 8 as presented.
We have a motion made by Mr. Baker.
Second.
Second by Mr. Mosby. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll have a roll.
Oh, hang on. Yes, Mrs. Wilhelmus has a question. That, yes, that is correct. So her question was, she was just clarifying that this has already occurred. This is not something that's happening in the future. So the lime stabilization and cement stabilization has already happened. Mrs. Wilhelmus just wanted clarity on that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, if we take a roll call, did we already do the roll call?
No, we haven't.
Okay.
Mrs. Wilhelmus. Ms. Metzger.
Aye.
Mr. Eigner.
Aye.
Mr. France.
Aye.
Mr. Mosby.
Aye.
Mr. Baker.
Aye.
And I vote aye.
Motion carried. We'll move on to 6.7 donations. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Metzger. We have two donations tonight, both at Tecumseh High School. The first one is a $500 donation from the Tecumseh Swimming Club to the Tecumseh Swim and Dive Team to be used for equipment needed, and also a $1,000 donation from Roberta and Dwayne Deitch for the Tecumseh Nurses Fund to be used as needed. I recommend the board approve the donations as presented.
I move to approve those donations.
Motion made by Mrs. Glover. Second by Mr. Baker. Any discussion?
I had a question. I think maybe I didn't hear you correctly, but did you say 500? It's 550.
Thank you.
Or maybe you said 500.
I likely didn't, so thank you. Yes, just for minutes, it is $550 donation from the swim club. Thank you, Mr. Mosby.
Okay. And Mrs. Glover, do roll call vote.
Mrs. Wilhelmus. Ms. Metzger.
Aye.
Mr. Eigner.
Aye.
Mr. France.
Aye.
Mr. Mosby.
Aye.
Mr. Baker.
Aye.
I vote aye.
All right, we're going to move then to number 7, consideration of personnel recommendations. Dr. Doug Gresham.
Thank you, Mrs. Metzger. The Human Resource Office has the following business for the board tonight. Certified staff positions, Chelsea Thurman, welding teacher at WPCC for the 25-26 school year. Support staff positions, Shelby Rice, temporary program assistant at Sharon Elementary School. Brianna Fetcher, temporary ABS program assistant at Sharon Elementary School. Kelly Fortune, multi-responsibilities position, being a clerical aide at WEC and a bus driver. And Kayla Byers, program assistant at John H. Castle Elementary School. Then the varsity coaches, bringing to you tonight Keisha Allen, the varsity boys and girls cross-country coach at Tecumseh High School for the 25-26 school year.
You have a motion? Motion made by Mr. Baker, seconded by Mr. France. Any discussion? Have a roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Wilhelmus. Ms. Metzger.
Aye.
Mr. Eigner.
Aye.
Mr. France.
Aye.
Mr. Mosby.
Aye.
Mr. Baker.
Aye.
And I vote aye.
Motion carried.
Under leaves, we have Crystal Weyerbacher, 3.75-hour cafeteria position at Boonville High. Lucy Nellis, a special education teacher at Newburgh Elementary. Amy Titzer, 4.5-hour cafeteria position at Linville Elementary. Kathleen Shaughnessy, custodian at Castle North Middle. Emily Borman, math teacher at Tecumseh Middle. Becky Raker, English teacher at Castle High. Jessica Russell, custodian at Yankeetown Elementary. And Rhonda Sander, a bus driver.
I move to approve the leave request.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
Who did the second?
Mr.
Mr.
Mosby.
Mosby did the second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll do a roll call.
Mrs. Wilhelmus. Ms. Metzger.
Aye.
Mr. Eigner.
Aye.
Mr. France.
Aye.
Mr. Mosby.
Aye.
Mr. Baker.
Aye.
I vote aye.
We have a report of early return. Michelle Kemp, the agri-science teacher at Tecumseh, has filed appropriate paperwork to return early from her previously approved leave of absence. And under resignations, we have Spencer Ruiz, program assistant at Boonville High School, resignation effective October 28th, 2024. Tyler O'Keefe, program assistant at WEC, resignation effective October 28th, 2024. Aaron Vall, program assistant at Castle High, resignation effective November 18, 2024. And Cheryl Emmons, program assistant at John H. Castle Elementary, resignation effective December 9th, 2024.
Thank you, Dr. Gresham. All right, we have number 8 reports. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Metzger. Just a few things I wanted to share this evening. First of all, I just can't really express how exciting and joyful it was to watch 2 of our bands compete on Saturday afternoon and evening at Lucas Oil Stadium. It was just such an awesome experience for those students to be able to be out on the Colts field and in that environment. And anyone who's involved with band knows how tight that community is and how supportive they are of one another. So just the camaraderie among the bands was very cool as well. And our teams just did a phenomenal job. So in Class C, Boonville ended up placing 9th in state. And in Class A, Castle placed 3rd in state.
Cool.
So 2 very nice finishes, and congratulations to all the students, the staff, the the guard, like, it's just a huge endeavor to be able to pull a show like that together, and they were really impressive and represented our district very well. So congratulations to them. This Friday, we have Castle football competing in regionals at Bloomington South, so good luck to them as well. And then also Boonville High School and Castle High School have their fall plays coming up, so I want to wish all of those theater actors and actresses the best of luck. And I attended, Tecumseh had it wasn't their full play yet, they do that in the spring, but they have like a little dinner show fundraiser kind of thing a couple of weeks ago, so they did that as well. So all of our schools just have all of the fun athletic and extracurricular activities going on this fall. So if you want to be entertained by some Warren County students, there are plenty of opportunities in a lot of different avenues.
Great. Okay, is there any other board business?
We'll have a pathways and construction meeting tomorrow morning at 7:30 at administration.
On that, thank you for Jeff saying that. We approved a couple of change orders tonight, and some people maybe who aren't present and listening online or check the minutes. I just want to make sure everybody knows, those aren't taken lightly. Those are big numbers, and in the construction committee meeting, we have it at on Gum Street. You guys can come. It's a public meeting, posted, and we talk a lot about those things, and we beat up all those contractors. I'm one of them sometimes, but and Mr. Armstrong is very strong on it, so he holds the line and toes the line. So we didn't talk a lot about it tonight. To Mrs. Wilhelmus's point, the work's already been done, and they are negotiating things like this. And so I just want to make sure fellow board members know that those things are gone through with a fine-tooth comb. It just ends up here for our final decision. So just a point of clarity for the public.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Any other board business?
And also, Special Ed Transportation Committee will meet on December the 4th at 7:30 at the administration building, and then our Personnel Committee will meet on December 16th at 5 o'clock in this building.
Policy and curriculum will not meet in December. We're going to postpone our next meeting in January with the date to be determined later.
And just a reminder to the board, we have our regional meeting in Jasper this Thursday, ISBA. So if you have questions about that, details were in our Friday update, but if you have questions or want to carpool, just let me know and we can get that set. Again, that's this Thursday. It's kind of snuck up on us quickly.
Okay. All right, is there anything else at all that anyone has? We're adjourned.